What is up? What is up? What is up? What's up? So today I want to talk about the time is on Hexicans side. Time is on Hexicans side. Yes, time is on Hexicans sides. This is one of those exciting topics because why is it so exciting? Because all of these other projects, they have no idea about Hex beyond 2020. They do not have any time perspectives at all. So all of these other guys, they I never heard anyone talking about crypto or hex in 2021 or 2022 or 2023, 2024, 2025 from the outside. Like they only talk about the launch phase, and even the YouTube crypto influencers that does not like hex, if they talk about it today, I saw some guys making some critical video here in August. The only thing they talk about is they go and look at the ETH adoption amplifier, and they go look at something that happened a couple of months ago, or even something that may have happened in January or December of 2019. And they go look at that data and they think it has like any relevance to what happens right now, and they are months behind. I would say almost a year behind, because if they look at Hex in December 2019, God, they're so behind. Like they don't know much. Like they are really behind about what's going on. Yeah, yeah, it's like they're trying to research the launch phase, right? Even though everyone already knows exactly how the launch phase works, the code has been audited. You can go and look at the code yourself on Etherscan. And if they have complaints about the Hex launch phase, they should go and look at the EOS launch phase and have the same complaints. But what do you know? Back then, nobody really complained, okay? Nobody complained about the EOS launch phase. That's kind of weird, you know? So why are people complaining about the Hexican launch phase, about the Hex smart contract launch phase? Probably because there are phases. There are people doing vlogs, like I'm doing vlogs. There are other people doing videos, and they have phases, you know? In the EOS launch phase, it was more secrecy. You did not have any phases, you know? So it's easier to just attack something when you have phases, or maybe it's more fun to attack something when you have phases. But I want to see in this video, the time is basically on Hexican's side. So when this launch phase is over, I'm kind of curious to see. It's going to be very interesting to study, especially the Bitcoiners, how they are going to react. Okay, when Hex is still here, because it's like a smart contract is locked. How are they going to react? How are they going to react January 2021, or a few months later after that, or a few months into 2022? It's gonna be extremely exciting to kind of see how they're gonna do that, because as I said, time is on Hexagon sides. So what is the biggest thing here? Well, time is on Hexagon sides because the longer time hexagons are in the hex smart contracts, the more shares and the higher part of the stake pool, or the more shares in the system they have relative to other people. If people are if early when early guys get out quick, they and people that are in it like super long term, they're getting a larger slice of the pie, because yeah, especially if they've done like 10-year hex stakes, they are getting a larger slice of the hex. And the time, especially on the time is especially on those guys' sides, especially if you get new people buying in on Uniswap, for example, and those new guys, of course, get less shares, you know. So why is time not on most other things side in crypto? Well, just as with the 2017 ICO boom, where like 99% of the stuff failed, we're probably going to see the same thing with fake DeFi. So what happened after the 2017, late 2017? 2 years of horror. 2018, 2019, 2 years of brutal horror. Nothing really worked out that well. most stuff failed pretty hardcore, which means time wasn't on the ICO guy's side because there was nothing really happening behind the scenes, you know? So why wouldn't the same thing happen now? So what we may see with fake DeFi is to see most of this nonsense probably come and go, fade into nothingness. So after, let's say 2021, 2022, it may be 2 years where a lot of this not fake DeFi nonsense just like fails and gets proven to be like a horrible business model and so on, while Hex just keeps on churning because it has amazing game theory already from the start. So yeah, I really do believe that a lot of this fake DeFi nonsense that is not Hex, I really do believe a lot of that's gonna fail. Because I mean, you can just look at it pretty quick. Like if you look at it right now, like if you go and try to use it, or even if you just go to these websites like Churn Finance or something like that, the only thing they're doing is they're having a worse interest system where they're involving a bunch of coins. There's also no transparency, by the way. You don't know anything about the code most of the times. They don't have a disclaimer. They are not honest on their website. They're not talking about price. There is like there is quite like you have to go to like third party websites like CoinGecko or something like that to try to figure out what actually goes on with a lot of these coins. Yearn Finance, for example, I searched on it on a couple of websites like CoinGecko, and like tons of different coins comes out that kind of seems to be doing the same thing. Even Polkadot, they always have like new coins coming out, and I don't really think they know what they're doing. Like, and then you're seeing so much pumps and dumps nonsense on Uniswap that even looks like some of it may be even worse than kind of what happened on in the ICO 2017 boom. And yeah, I don't think time is on fake DeFi projects side basically, because they're all trying to do some lending nonsense. Like Hex is not doing some lending nonsense, but these other things are like trying to do like lending and borrowing, but I don't think they're doing it in a good way, because you have to like deposit your coins, and they can liquidate you, especially if we get some big dumps. And we've seen some big dumps, like when you get like a free fall in Bitcoin, for example, or when you get a free fall in ETH price, for example. We've seen that a ton of times, and then like everyone gets liquidated and gets wrecked, and then you need like new guys to come in, and then you get these crypto YouTubers that are making hype videos again. For example, now the latest hype is like, okay, Bitcoin is going again to $1 million in 2021, and they're just like, and they're doing the same things. They haven't learned anything. They haven't learned anything from 2017 ICO boom. There's a lot of people that learn stuff. Like Hexicans actually learned a lot of stuff. That okay, maybe we shouldn't try to do this like pump and dump nonsense. Maybe we should try to build a system that have positive game theory that incentivize people to lock up for longer, and maybe it works. Okay, you don't have any promises, you don't have any expectations, but you know it's a complete project. Maybe it works actually, because the interest is very very low after the launch phase. So so I would so I thought a little bit that people would mature a little bit since 2017. And last year I talked a little bit about, okay, what is going to be the shit coins of 2020. And in the beginning of 2020 it looked like we wouldn't really have any shit coins of this year, but then we got this like, now we have this like massive run of like shit coins, and like a ton, like probably hundreds of shit coins coming out. They're really not doing anything. Like they're not doing anything at all, and like people swallowing it and being gullible and being naive and like FOMOing into retard coins super super fast. And that proved to me that yeah, people, the general mainstream mass of people, they haven't learned anything. They haven't learned anything from 2017 pump. They haven't even learned that the Bitcoin brand has been weakened dramatically since those FOMO runs in late 2017. So yeah, time is on Hexicans sides, because we know that the smart contract is just gonna keep giving stakers coins, and the longer time that goes, they probably have more incentive to kind of uh, to hang around. And I think also the longer the time goes for Hex and the smart contract, eventually a lot of the FUD is going to die out, because the only FUD I've seen is like someone is upset that someone is making money, and someone is just upset that someone may make money, and then they're talking about, oh, maybe you get a hex dump maybe someday. But we have already had that. Like, we've had many dumps, like 40%, 50%, maybe even I'm not sure if we had an 85% dump, or maybe 83% dump against ETH. So we have already had like kind of dumps already. So that's kind of like lame kind of FUD basically. And it's going to be interesting to see when all of the weak hands have kind of sold and you only have the strong hands left. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how people are going to behave then. I'm curious to see if people in the long run, like now on Hex Out Live, you can see that people are doing these, maybe like even with a lot of Hex, they're doing these like short stakes, maybe like 7 days or like 14 days, 28 days with like millions of Hex. I'm curious to see if they're gonna do those same things when the share price goes up a lot and it becomes way more expensive to kind of play around for the short term. It seems like a lot of people may eventually just um, lock in for longer, because it seems like game theory wise, maybe even before the big payday, probably would be good to do that, because yeah, it just gets way more expensive after a big payday, and usually people don't like paying a higher price. Usually they probably want to get like the best price possible, you know. So so what we've learned about DeFi is most of it is most of it is pure nonsense. But the thing that is truly amazing, like Hex, is probably gonna become massive. Like, I did some math. If you would have like, I think if you would have like a 15-cent Hex, you would already be at like $63 billion market cap. And I don't even know how Bitcoin is supposed to like compete against that. I don't really know, to be honest, because yeah, sure, Bitcoin, they say it's like $200 billion market cap, but I think it's kind of manipulated a lot. Probably should be like 5K per Bitcoin, and we know a couple of million Bitcoins are lost, so maybe it's more like 100 billion market cap max. And like if Hex just goes to like 15 cents per Hex, 60 billion, like it's really up there, man. And there's no other real good product that like can compete against Hex. Because no other product is doing time locks as good. So, and if you look at like, so if you look at DeFi and how big market share it has right now, it's like 16 billion or something like that. Ethereum market cap is just 44 billion. The Ethereum coin, it's not really designed to be like a time lock, right? Or like to pay out the interest, right? ERC20 coin is just like superior for that thing. So probably we're going to see an ERC20 coin flip Ethereum, because yeah, Ethereum wasn't really designed for that intention. Same as Bitcoin wasn't really designed for digital gold. It was designed to be like peer-to-peer digital cash, and for people to use it as transactions to kind of replace cash. But then that store didn't really work. Like, nobody's really using it for that. And now people just pretend it's like digital gold or something like that. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen if if Tether collapses. I'm kind of curious what happens with the Bitcoin mentality especially if you get like a crypto that flips, Bitcoin. How is the Bitcoin community going to react to that? Like, it's going to be very, very fascinating to see. I don't think they're going to be very happy. Like, usually they don't even get happy these days when it like crashes like 2k, because yeah, it just doesn't look like, it just doesn't look like something good, you know. It's not like something, and then you see that a lot of corrupt people, a lot of weird guys are like into the Bitcoin stuff. A lot of like, yeah, a lot of shady stuff happens with Bitcoin, which is not really, which is not really good for the brand, you know. So yeah, time is on Hexican's side. I mean, if every day that goes and like Hex is still around, it is so much win. Like, it's gonna be hilarious, like 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, like all of these years. I'm curious what can come after the fake DeFi thing. I'm curious if ignorant Bitcoiners and ignorant crypto community, are they ever gonna learn, or are they gonna get fooled into the next thing after fake DeFi? So they got fooled by the ICO boom, and they're probably gonna get fooled by fake DeFi. What is the third thing they're gonna get fooled by? I mean, or are they gonna one day just wake up and realize we have not been smart, we have been very ignorant, and maybe it's time that we learn from the Hex guys now, because it seems like the Hex guys have a lot of knowledge. It seems like they are very competent. It seems like they know what they're talking about, and like maybe we should learn from these guys. Maybe we should learn from these guys to have faces and use video in HD quality, and that's talking a lot of sense and talking a lot of truth, and it doesn't really rely on the mainstream herd of the crypto guys, of yes man, to like yes, yes, yes. Like, the Hexican community is smaller, but they are way more intelligent, you know. Like, maybe we should listen to those guys. It's very interesting also to see these high ETH gas fees. So we kind of see that, if you have like $18, so I had like $18 in my Ethereum account, and I went to Uniswap and I kind of bought some Hex, and it costed like $6 or $7, something like that, and then I staked those Hex. I think I got around 3k Hex, and then I staked those Hex for 15 years, and that took another like $2 or something like that. So it cost, if I had $18, it kind of cost me like $8 for the fees and so on. And it's kind of cool in a way how the ETH miners are getting paid well. Uh, as I talked a little bit about in another video, like today on Uniswap V2, the ETH gas fees is around $500,000 to, I think, ETH miners or something like that. Like, they're making good money, you know, and this actually makes it so they have more incentive to hang around Ethereum, and may make it so we faster gonna flip Bitcoin with Ethereum or with Hex in the near future. And this is something I talked a little bit about on YouTube a couple of months ago, that is the flippening getting closer? Yes, I think the flippening is getting closer. And I also talked about the next 24 months, maybe Bitcoin starts to gravitate towards zero. And a lot of people probably think that's a joke, but I think that actually may be the case. Because, as I talked about in other videos, I really do believe that Bitcoin is living on borrowed time. Like, where are the users, and why are your only corrupt actors involved with Bitcoin? And yeah, like, and you don't even have any privacy. You're probably never gonna get any privacy. You're probably better off using Monero or something like that. Time is an interesting thing. So I did a video on YouTube a couple of months ago, or maybe last year, 2019. I talked about that life is an ongoing creation, and yeah, like, creation is ongoing. It's like limitless. Like, time, it just keeps on ticking, and eventually something just becomes a household name. So Hex didn't exist a couple of years ago. Now it exists. Same as DTube, Avalon Testnet, it didn't exist like early last year, but now it exists. So new stuff comes into creation, and then it becomes household names, especially if it's something that's proven to be amazing and proven to be super useful. And yeah, I mean, that is basically what I want to talk a little bit about today. So yeah, time is basically on Hexagon's side, and it's automatic, you know, and that's something that's like super, super cool, that it just like keeps on ticking on the Ethereum blockchain, even without any like, even without you having to do anything manually. Yeah.